Hi everyone, and welcome back to 20 Days of Healing. My name's Vicky Poole, and today we're joined by the wonderful Michelle Buchan. Hi Michelle.
Hi Vicky.
And how are you doing today?
I'm really well, thank you. I'm very well despite everything. Yeah, just getting on with it the same as everybody else. So yeah, I'm really well.
Good, I'm really glad to hear it. And when I was pulling together the week of speakers to talk around about management tools, I have to admit you were the first person on my list.
Oh, that's lovely.
And because Michelle and I have worked together in the past. In fact, we've worked together twice. And one of the things that I personally have always been inspired by Michelle is how quickly she can get the team around her, even if it's supporting team, dotted lines, to be able to really buy into her and her accounts and, form part of that team and that network to be able to achieve that ultimate goal. And Michelle's now run off to Tropic, where she's a senior manager in Tropic. And I know that you got onto Tropic and into Tropic quite early on in its process. And I really want to know, Michelle, what's your secret? How do you get your team really excited to work for you?
So yeah, thanks for having me, Vicky. That was so kind, really, really kind. Yeah, we've worked together twice before, in the dim and distant past, not too dim and distant actually, but in the past, in corporate environments. So I think it's really important that I just make that clear that we worked in both managed services companies. And I transitioned from that because I'm with Tropic. I'm a Tropic ambassador, an independent Tropic ambassador, and I transitioned to that when I was in the corporate world. So when I joined Tropic, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, I joined for the discount because I was buying the products and I thought, oh yeah, I'll do that. That seems like sense. So I did that, but I was working full time in the corporate world at the time, and various things over a few months changed, and I decided to transition from being full time in corporate and doing a bit of Tropic to doing Tropic full time, as well as a couple of other business interests that my husband and I have. So I would say I do Tropic mainly in the main full time, but not in the way of a full time job, if you know what I mean. So I'll, probably have some Zoom calls, etc., in the evening and stuff, and I love it actually, which is, when you're looking forward to stuff, it's not work. So in the corporate world, where you and I are very kind of, a pyramid structure, there's a chief executive, managing director, he's got his management team, and then everyone underneath them. And in order to progress, either there has to be a restructure, and I've been through several of those, as I'm sure you have, Vicky, in my time, or someone has to leave in order for you to progress. Tropic's quite a different company to that. So although I am what's known as a senior leader, anyone that I've introduced to the business, I don't even want to say underneath me, but into my business, could easily surpass me if they decided that they wanted to grow their business too. There's nothing holding anyone back. There's no glass ceiling. There's no, me before you. So when it comes to inspiring the team around you, they have to be, if you're going to do a business like this, you have to be a self-starter. And many of us in the corporate world are, which is why I think we do so well, because we treat what we're doing almost like our own business. But when you transition into a business where it is your own business that you're working in, you lead basically, and for me, leaders go first. And that's what I do for the women around me. They're all self-starters, the women that want to grow their business. Lots of people who've just joined like me for a discount, or they just want to buy every now and again, fine. But then there are other women who decide, I'm going to grow a business, because it is a decision that you make, and then you do the work to make it happen. And I just work alongside them. And a lot of this business is mindset, so it's about having a coffee and a chat and just doing like what you and I do often, is just have a very good catch up, sort the whole thing out, and just go on with the work. It's not hard work, it's not difficult, but you do need, you know, like every job, you've got ups and down days. So depending on how you're feeling, I'm just always there to support the team.
I hear the difference there from the corporate pyramid
Yeah.
into Tropic, where it's much more, I suppose it's a lot more feminine in its approach, where it's very nurturing and it's uplifting and inspiring, and you get out of it what you put in it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we do joke. It's not even a joke, it's actually the truth. We live in a tropic bubble. So the world outside can be, you know, look what's going on, but we're all in our little bubble and we're all basically just lifting each other up, and it is a nurturing environment. So you very easily can be just who you are, authentically who you are. You're not trying to be something else or someone else that has to do a job. You're just authentically yourself, and that's really the beauty of it. You're not, you know, I've worked in some environments where, it's not been a nurturing environment, where, I would feel anxious or not good enough, or constantly doubting me and my abilities. But when you're surrounded, that's one of the key rules from that fabulous business book, Think and Grow Rich. The community around you is absolutely key. If you've got people around you who are not nurturing and lifting you up, etc., then you want to minimize your contact with them. And that has come into full force during lockdown, where much of the connection we have with people is online like this. So it's, you need to be selective about who you're spending time with, and who's lifting you up. So yeah, it's really important. Feminine's a nice word, actually. It's, we're mainly women. We're not all women. There's some men in Tropic, but as Susie Mad, our inspirational founder, says, that there is, I think 12% of millionaires or billionaires, excuse me if I've got this wrong, are female, but all of the top earners in Tropic are female. And I quite like I quite like that.
I like that too.
Hmm.
You've mentioned that a couple of times, Michelle, about how the people that you bring on to work with you, they work alongside you. And I know that you and I follow a similar morning routine. And I suppose my question is what really works in your routine, and how does your miracle morning work? Because I know that you have a special program for the girls in your team.
I do. So there's lots and lots of support and training in Tropic. There are meetings, Zoom meetings, most days at different times. So whatever suits you is what you plug into. But basically, we're trying to plug into that Tropic bubble of support and encouragement and guidance. That's what we want to. But for me, I am a morning bird. So I'm up early, and I like to get as much done in the morning as I can, because how you start the day is how the rest of the day is going to, basically, it's going to pan out for you. You get the morning sorted, get your routine in place, and then the rest of the day goes well. And the book that I fashioned this around was The Miracle Morning. I read that book, The 6 Habits That Will Transform Your Life, before 8 o'clock. So I read that book maybe about 3 years ago, and it absolutely changed how I approach this business. So this, I'm a Tropic ambassador, but this is my business. How I run this business is up to me. And I've put in habits, another thing that's really important, because it is the habits. The habits that you've got are the habits that will shape your day and your basically your life. And I put the habits in place that would help me be the person, help me grow into the person that I wanted to be. And that's another opportunity that Tropic has given me to grow personally, and also to, put the routines in place that I need in order to grow my business. And that's what I do Monday to Friday at 6 o'clock. So it's really for those in the team that want to go to work on their Tropic business, and that time of the day suits them. It's early for some, but one of the ladies joins and she's already done her run. It's, these, when you're running, if you're got a business like Tropic alongside a full-time job, you've got kids, you've got a family, maybe aged parents to look after, all kinds of things going on, then you have to make the time. You'll never find time for a business like this. You need to make the time, and that's what they're doing. So it's daily motivation, support, and accountability. So I'm not setting the targets. I'm asking them to set their own targets, and I'm helping them to be accountable. Daily action steps that they have to take. So Monday is Motivation Monday. They have to set out what the week is going to look like. I don't know, you're going to walk 10,000 steps a day, drink more water, you're going to, what you're going to do in your Tropic business. Tuesday is Tropic Tuesday. Wednesday is Wealth Wednesday, so it helps with money mindset. Thursday is Think Dirty Thursday. So we talk about toxins and skincare and things. That's a really handy app, Think Dirty. And then on Friday, it's Celebration Friday, and we're not celebrating anything that we have absolutely no control over. We're celebrating where we said we were going to do something and then we did it, because you're overcoming those voices in your head that say, do that, you don't have to run, you don't have to, speak to your customers or help your customers with their skincare or whatever, but we overcome those voices by setting the intention and just going to work in our businesses. So yeah, it's a minute morning.
I think that's really important. So there's a couple of things there that I just really want to draw out and pluck at a string. So you mentioned there about, you set the mindset on Monday, and then on Friday you celebrate. And it's celebrating for what you've set out to achieve.
Yeah.
And every goal should be achievable.
Yeah.
Everything that you say that you're going to go out and do should be achievable. It's not a target. Michelle and I both used to work together in sales, and we'd be allocated a target, and you'd be sitting down and you'd be looking up at it and thinking, where am I going to get that number from? And you start from the point where you don't feel it's achievable. So it then becomes a self-proliferating fulfillment, like a prophecy that you're always going to struggle. And by flipping that round to say, well, I know that I'm going to walk 10,000 steps every day this week, that I'm going to drink 3 liters of water. Yeah. You set out with that intention and you celebrate that at the end of the week. I think that's brilliant and wonderful. And one of the things that I noticed there is that it will be different for everyone.
Everyone is different. Every person, not everyone runs, not everyone, not everyone wants to do the same thing. The way I run my Tropic business is completely different to how other women do it. They do it their own way. Everyone's different, just like we're all different.
And I also noticed in there that you said that you help them to achieve whatever goals they set.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily driving from the front, it's leading from the front. You're all in it together. It's really nurturing environment. Love that. And there's one more thing there that you said that was a really golden nugget. And it was a golden nugget for me, and it's something that I've thought about, but not in that way. And it's the habits.
Mm-hmm.
So the habits that you make form a behavior, and that behavior then becomes your mindset.
Yeah.
And if you know that you need to change what you're doing in order to get to a goal, to achieve a goal, you think of what you need to do to get there.
That's it.
And then what habit you need to have to generate that outcome.
Yeah.
And then after you do it for a period of time, it then becomes a behavior. And if you schedule that in, you can make anything possible.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just a fact. It's absolutely a fact. We have, as well as the Monday to Friday themes, we have a book of the month. And our first book of the month was obviously The Miracle Morning, but this month is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And his habits are absolutely everything. And people will say, before they're aware of their habits, of how they speak to themselves, how they, just how they run their life, they just think that's the way it is. That's just the way it is, until they actually are aware that they've got some habits that have been instilled, that they have, maybe grown up with, or they have adopted themselves, which are simply not serving them. But very often we're just not aware of those habits, like the habit so the other thing I wanted to share about the Miracle Morning is it's not all celebration. A celebration is, we also celebrate the fact that we do have those down days and we're sharing them together. It's not all, sunshine and light. There are bad days as well as, days, not bad days. I'm not labeling it. So there are days that don't quite go to plan. That happens for everyone. But when you can share that with someone to say, yeah, today was a bit like that for me too. Sharing authentically actually takes away perhaps the shame you have around something that's not working out. You haven't done what you said you were going to do. So it's about being authentic and sharing it with them. But habits are absolutely key. Just key. Whatever it is you want to do, you have to put in the habits. You have to do the steps, put in the habits, so you're not thinking about it. The problem is, until it becomes a habit, constantly thinking about it and your brain's trying to talk you out of it. But yeah, habits are absolutely key. I agree.
Yeah, and I hear your comment there about, your brain's constantly trying to talk you out of it. Your brain doesn't like anything that's new.
Oh, God.
It likes the same. It likes the same old because it knows what to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you're driving in a car, you're looking out the front windscreen. And whenever you need to do a maneuver, you look in the rear view mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be a quick glance. And what happens is your brain brings back all these memories of similar experiences. And it just tells you what you did in that moment, rather than was it the right outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and you don't often see a different result. I think that's really important there.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's key. I mean, habits are key to changing your behaviour, because what we do every day is just habitual, and some habits are just not serving us, certainly not taking you towards those goals that you've identified that you want to achieve.
Lovely, thanks, Michelle. So I really wanted to ask you, how has the way that your team has called upon you for support during lockdown, and how have you responded to that?
Well, I mean, I make it clear that I'm here for whatever it is that they want. Not just me, but we're a big team with lots of different individuals in it. And just because someone has actually joined my team doesn't mean that they're not going to hear a voice that resonates with them outside of not outside of the team, but elsewhere in the team. So, I've got what I would call my upline managers, from diamonds to executives who are always there. So I would be I would be listening to the person about what their issue is. Could just be, help placing an order, right? I can help with that. But, it could be something that they're dealing with personally, a personal circumstance, or a work circumstance that perhaps I can't help with. I'll go and find the right person for them to speak to, because it's not just about me, it's about me supporting them to get what it is that they need. And we're surrounded by just amazing women who are just, a huge amount of experiences, not just in corporate, but all across the whole gamut of what life is like for a woman. And there will be a support person there for them. I'll just help them identify who that is. I'm just there for them, like they're there for me. They're helping to lift me up and get me through some really difficult days, and that's what I'm there for too.
Fantastic. I hear it's reciprocal there as well, which is really lovely.
Absolutely.
Because there are so many people that I'm speaking to at the moment where it's one-way traffic, and they feel lost and stuck, and to know that there are places out there where it is a two-way street. And the thing that really resonates with me there is something, and this is something that I wouldn't I would never have found in a corporate environment. And I don't know about yourself, Michelle, which is you've got someone speaking to you about an issue that they're having, and it's I'm not the right person to speak to you about that. I think I know someone who has reference of that and experience. Let me go and find the right person to speak to, and I'll come back to you. And taking that ownership so that you don't have to keep repeating that pain over and over again. I just think that's lovely.
Yeah, I don't, in my personal experiences, I think HR departments are trying. I just don't know whether or not it's really part of those organized. It's there's a lot of work to be done, I think, so that support for people, and this is personal support for the mental health, support, all different kinds of support. It's not just, it's in our manual, to the fact that actually they're getting some practical support about it. People, those are big businesses that people are running, but people in those businesses are making them successful. So we do need a bit more support. I think, it's changing, but certainly,
it's a slow burner, isn't it?
Yeah, it needs to change a lot more.
Yeah. Well, we have some more. So tomorrow we've got Stuart, who runs a leadership and executive training program, and he's going to be sharing around about the emphasis now that's put on mental health.
Yes.
Which is hugely important. And then Thursday, we've got HR consultant who goes in to revolutionize and transform HR departments. So this is going to be a really awesome week in terms of content that's put out there. So things are changing.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned earlier, Michelle, when you first need to recognize that you have a habit that's not serving you before you can change it.
That's it.
So many companies out there are saying, you know what? This isn't working for me. I need to do something different in this area. I need my staff to feel more supported. Yeah. And I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to bring in training. I'm going to bring in a consultant, and they're going to show me the way forward. So there are a lot of companies who do put their hands up, and there are a lot of companies who are still ostriching.
Yeah. I mean, a real challenging time for everyone in the world, being locked down, but really challenging for organizations that are trying to manage teams at home. I would imagine there are some real challenges around there.
Yeah. Speaking of managing teams at home, I know that Tropic is mostly a virtual business, and you've got ambassadors in your team from all over. How have you been managing your team remotely? Has that been any different to you?
Well, my team are all over the UK, so I wouldn't. We were really fortunate beforehand, where we had a monthly meeting in London in a very posh law firm in the centre of London. It was gorgeous. One of the ladies was on the management team there, so we got to use their offices. But it's mainly virtual, speaking to people, keeping in contact with them has, I think, become easier because people are quite happy to hop on a Zoom call and just catch up as teams. So we have a Zoom call as a team on a Monday evening, about 300 people on there last night. Tonight there's another one. There will be nearer 50 on there. There's one on a Thursday morning, one on a Friday lunchtime, one on a Sunday, once a month on a Sunday. So, and then of course mine, 6 to 6:30 in the morning, nearer 7, it has to be said, if you're having a good old blether. But it really is, it's about offering people the time so that they know they can contact you on WhatsApp. We've got contacts from the team all of the time. And it's, I think, supporting, the biggest trick, or not the trick, but the most important thing to do when you're supporting anyone is to listen to them, to listen to what they're saying, because then you'll hear what the issues are. It's always, it starts out, the conversation starts out quite light and, chatting about whatever. And then the longer you listen, the issues, if there is an issue, will make itself clear. So I think that's a key skill when it comes to supporting your team, is to listen. what it is that they need.
Thank you very much, Michelle. I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because that's what I was talking about yesterday.
Are you?
Yeah. And it's so important to listen and to actually be present and listen. One of the common complaints that we get is, you don't listen to me. And that can be so easily answered by, well, how would I need to act to let you know that you are being listened, or that I am listening to you? And it's things like, oh, well, you're making notes, you're on your phone, you're typing emails, you know, I don't have your full attention, could maybe be an answer. So by simply being present and holding that space and not doing something else at that time, you know, is hugely important to actually be listened.
Yes.
Truly.
Listen, just give them your time, you know, when you're actually seeing people, because quite a really, you know, it's a difficult time for lots of people. They want to be heard. You know, it's nice to be heard, isn't it?
It is. Michelle, we've talked about lots of really wonderful things today, and I'm just wondering if there is one golden nugget that you've got that you would say pips the post on everything else that we've talked about, something that you could share with the people watching, that if you could do one thing as a brilliant manager, what would it be?
Oh, just believe in people. Believe in them more than they believe in themselves. That's basically what we are here as leaders to do. Lots of people join Tropic and you hear what they're saying to themselves. I can't, I'm not, I'm this, I'm that, and I believe in them long before they actually do themselves, because you know they can do it. You know, if they want to build a Tropic business, they can do it. The only way they can't do it is if they quit. But if they want to do it and they commit to doing the work, I believe in them. And it's just lovely when they say, gosh, you said I could do that. I can't believe, can you believe I did that? And I say, yeah, I can actually. I can't believe it. So just believe in people, and be kind. Whatever you do, just be kind. Everybody's got something going on, so be kind.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Michelle, for sharing. Thank you for
Thanks.
joining me. It's part of 20 Days of Healing. We'll change the world together.
Yes, change the world together. Thanks for asking me.
Lovely. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you very much, everybody who's watching on replay. My name is Vicky Poole. You can follow me at Vicky Poole Coach on Twitter and Instagram, and you can join my Facebook group, Flourishing Together. If you like what you see, you can press the subscribe button below, and you can catch all of the other videos that come out. Thank you very much for listening. Take care now, and God bless.